What's up, everybody? This is Travis Laska, and I am back with another video. And today, in this video, I'm going to be talking about how to prepare for damaging winds or a major storm. So, and the reason why I thought about doing this is because when people hear about this stuff, you know, not necessarily in other states, but in my neck of the woods, when a lot of people hear that there's a big storm coming around, they usually take that, they don't take it all that seriously. But I actually know a lot about this stuff because I was actually in New England for about 5 months a couple years ago. And I was actually out there when Tropical Storm Hermine hit us. And luckily it didn't get up to hurricane force, but, that was one of the things that, even I took for, even I didn't take all that seriously, but, a lot of the people that I was with, pretty much warned me that that was going to happen. So, but anyways, let's get to the video. So, first thing you want to do in your preparations is, make sure you have copies of all your personal information, such as your medications, your insurance cards, stuff like that. Second thing you want to do is make sure that you have all your devices charged, your cell phones, any electronic devices, just in case the power goes out. And one of those things I have charging up as we speak is my shaver. So I'll actually show you that. So, and actually, I got this about a couple years ago, actually. So this is actually my razor that's charging right now. Also make sure all your appliances are working and charged as well, such as your, if you have an electric toothbrush like myself, make sure that's working. Make sure everything in your, everything in your house is working. Lights, etc., etc. So, and speaking of electric toothbrushes, I actually have an Oral-B electric toothbrush, which, most people actually have the traditional, but this bad boy sits on a charger. When you go to charge it, it sits on a stand, and once it's done, once it starts charging, it lights up and whatnot. And as you can see, it has the round brush head. And then so I'm gonna, one of the things you want to do is you want to test those out, see if they're working. So also make sure all your make sure all your lights are working. Next thing, have enough gas for your generators. Make sure you have enough gas, fuel, and whatnot for all your generators, all your gas and, all your gas appliances, such as your stoves and whatnot. Luckily for me, I don't rely on a gas generator. Mine is actually automatic. So, once the power goes out, I'll actually have automatic power again because of my generator at my house. Also, fill up your car. For those of you who drive vehicles, make sure you fill up your car with gas. Make sure you have enough gas to last you the next several days because, again, it's going to be a nasty storm tomorrow morning when you wake up. For those of you who are in the Buffalo area, they're talking about 75-mile-per-hour wind gusts. So, one of the biggest things you want to make sure you do tonight, or even if you're just watching and you know that... Sorry about that. That was my watch. Sorry about that. Like I was saying also, too, if you're just watching and, you have a storm coming your way as well, make sure you have enough gas to last you throughout the storm and possibly even after the storm. Because you don't know, again, you don't know what areas could be shut down and closed. Also, too, check your insurance. Check all your insurance policies. Make sure that everything is up to date. Make sure everything is, in case something happens that your property gets damaged or even your car gets damaged or whatever it may be. Make sure all that is up to date. Also, you want to make sure you have an emergency kit, such as a first aid kit, food, enough food, water to last you. And, one of the things I actually used to do for this relation, when I didn't have automatic generators, is I used to do what are called MREs, which you might have heard a lot about through the military. And basically all you do is you add water to it and you already have your meal ready. Also, make sure you have enough equipment in your car to last you as well. In case you were to get stranded on the road. Because, depending upon what this storm may bring, they're even talking about some snow. But that's one of the big things you want to make sure is that you have enough stuff also in your car too. Make sure you have an emergency kit in your car as well. That way, if you were to get stranded, you're well prepared ahead. Also, another thing is make sure you have a good battery-powered radio to receive alerts on throughout the storm. And one of the biggest things I recommend anybody to have is an NOAA All Hazards Weather Radio. That way you get automatic alerts when the storm hits. And they're excuse me. And they're one of my all-time favorite radios to actually purchase. I honestly love them because, honestly, they're a very reliable source to go by. Especially if you're like me, that's always out and about and planning different meetings in different locations. You know, it's a very good source to go by. The National Weather Service is a very, at least I would say, they're a very reliable source. Also, you know, like I said too, also make sure that's charged. Make sure if your batteries do charge on your radios, make sure they are fully charged. That way you can receive alerts when they come in. And excuse me. And lastly, make sure that make sure you have a safe place. Make sure you have a plan ahead of the storm. Because with 75-mile-per-hour winds, there's a good chance that trees or power lines could crash through your roof. And one of my safe places, at least for me, but for you this may be anywhere, one of my safest places that I usually go to when a storm hits is in the closet. Because there's plenty of walls around me to protect me. But it could be anywhere. It could be, you could have a basement, you could have a safe room, you could have a closet, you could have you could even ride it out in the bathtub. I've known people that have rode out the storm in a bathtub before. Not in New York State, but in other locations. Also, another thing, make sure you have a meeting place in case you and your whether it be your household, your children, or whatever it may be, make sure you have a place to meet in case you get separated. Because you don't know if that could happen. You never know if that could happen. Make sure that you have it could be anywhere. One of my favorite places to meet people is out by the bus stop near my house. Because it's a place not only that I can navigate to, but also a lot of people are able to meet me there if necessary. And that's one of my favorite places to go to for such an event. So, but yeah, this is just, a video of storm preparations, and if you are listening and want to get more notifications, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Alright, this is Travis Laska signing out. Peace.
14. Stop record button. Start record. Stop.